this is what I have here. That, or that, or that is what I want there. All right, I want to try and propagate some roses. I'm going to use black cow soil, but first I got to make the pH, sure the pH is good in it. I have already, see this stuff has a lot of junk in it and the pH tester don't like that. But anyhow, let me turn it off, turn it back on. We'll see where that lands. It's already soaked with water for about 15 minutes, which is what you need to do. I gotta let it sit in here for 15 minutes. Let me show you the roses I want to propagate. All right, so we got 4 rose bushes. We got these two here, which stand upright on their own, the regular bushes. We got a climber here. This is the one I want to replace. And then we got another one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use rooting gel to make this happen. Now I have a bunch of blooms on these that are about to take off. And basically what I want to do is find one with a 5-leaf structure like this on both sides that I can cut down about 6 inches from the buds, put the rooting gel on it, and then hopefully it'll divert energy from budding out into growing roots where I cut it. Now I've been having a problem with this crap. Actually, this one looks like it might have powdery mildew forming on it, but it's definitely, we got fungus problems with these. This one gets hit pretty hard. I just recently pruned them down so that they would get better airflow. I tried to create a vase-like structure down the middle of them, all of them. This one didn't take too well to it, as you can see. Didn't like it at all. This one had a lot of dead growth on it. I had to really cut it back. But as you can see, we got a lot of new growth. This sucker here is putting up a lot of new canes. And I'm kind of tempted to cut back all the old ones to see what this does. This one doesn't have any new canes coming up, unfortunately. I would love to see that happen, but it's not. This one seems to be the most resistant to whatever fungus is hitting these things. It gets a little bit of it. It got a little bit of it last year, but generally this plant doesn't break out too bad. So I'm hoping I can get some clippings off of this one. As you can see, it gets like these pink white flowers on it, so it'd be pretty cool to propagate some more of this. All right, so we got the black cow measuring at a pH of about 6.5. Roses need a 6 to a 6.5, so we're right in the range where we want to be. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 containers here. I'm going to try and root 8 in these containers. Then I have these over here that are measuring a 6 and a 6.5 acidity. Those are the ones I just did my soil acidifier test with. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it down below. But that'll also be good for trying to get roses going. I want to start them in soil that's the proper acidity. I don't want to get an off start with them. Now, I'm not an expert. I find all my information online. I am learning how to do this. This channel is basically my journey, my foray into gardening. So what I have here is a cutting with 3 buds on it. And as you can see, it's got a 5-leaf structure on that stem and a 5-leaf structure on that stem. From what I'm reading, you want a stem about 6 inches long with 2 of those 5-leaf structures, and then you cut everything else off and stick it down in the soil with the rooting compound. I tried to cut it at about a 45-degree angle. So now what I'm using is Bondtone 2 rooting powder. I read the label on this. You do not want to breathe it, you do not want to get it in your eyes, and you don't want to let it absorb into your skin. As far as I can tell, there are pesticides in this. I'm not crazy about that, but for the purpose of this, I can understand it. So what you want to do is you cut the end of your stem and you dip it in there. Let's prep one and then do that. So I'm going to leave 2 5-leaf structures, and I'm going to cut these bottom ones off. And then I want to make sure the bottom's at like a good 45-degree angle. So I'm going to take my shears here and I'm going to do that. This side. That's what I have now. We dip it into the powder, get it nice and covered in it. Make sure that clipping is fully exposed. I'm going to create a hole for this. I'm going to put it down deep. And then I'm simply going to pack the soil around the stem. And I'm going to water it in. I'm not going to water it a lot, just a little bit. And then I'm going to want to keep this moist here on out. Like I said, I'm also going to fill the bottom of this pan, so some of the water should wick up into the bottom of these and help keep them moist. The other thing that I see suggested is like a greenhouse type enclosure. I really don't have anything for that. I'm just kind of seeing if I can do it, if I have any success with it. It's my understanding that rooting stems like this can be kind of difficult, so we'll kind of see where it goes. So I feel a little bit of resistance and pat it. Now, part of the reason I want to use these clear containers is so that if these start putting off decent root growth, I'll be able to see that rather than having to do a tug test. I mean, I'll probably still have to do a tug test, but you don't want to do that for a few weeks. So I'm not going to check these again until the end of June. I want to give these some time to sit, do their thing, and hopefully get some new rose bushes out of it. And I'm going to mist these every day. I am going to be keeping them outside. I'm going to try and shelter them from rain and then hope for the best. So I'm going to get some yellow clippings. I'm going to get some red clippings off of that bush, and that'll be that. Let me know if you've done it like this before in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.